Call to order the meeting of the Finance Committee for Wednesday, July 5th, 2023. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks for joining us today on this day after 4th of July. Hopefully everyone had a nice 4th.
Nope.
Thank you for the input. First on the agenda, we have request for interdepartmental transfer for town council in the amount of $72,756 from police salaries to town council expenses.
Excuse me,
Yes.
Mr. Chair, as I am a member of the board for the Stoughton Media Access, I'm going to recuse myself. I believe this is the item that came up last time when we did this?
Yes, it's got the 4,500 in there for the attorney.
Yeah.
Recuse yourself, some of it. Afraid you'll have to go under the.
Yeah, you may want to,
I'll just go like this.
you may want to take the
You know what?
Stick your head in the door.
We're going to take this out of order. We're going to jump down to item 4 then,
Okay.
and we'll come back to item 3. Item 4, requests for interdepartmental transfer for town manager salaries in the amount of $9,500 from civilian dispatch salaries to town manager salaries. Mr. Rowe, would you like to present this?
So, we had some unanticipated changes to salaries. The select board needed to recruit a secretary, so they had to hire someone at more than was budgeted. The assistant town manager, additional duties was carried beyond the initial date of March 31st, was carried through to the end of the year. That was also unbudgeted. So we ran into a deficit of approximately $9,500. So I've informed HR that from now on the personnel actions, we're gonna need an expiration date. Once the expiration date hits for stipends and things like that, then they will no longer be valid. Past that date, they'll have to put in for new personnel action. This will be an additional budgetary review. So when we did the initial budgetary review for when Mr. Calvin was hired, we projected that we'd have enough, just enough. So these additional changes, we had to select board secretary, they had to recruit someone at a higher salary than what was budgeted. And the assistant town manager, additional duties carried on past the intended date of March 31st. So those are what's contributed to the overdraft.
because, if you will, Mr. Chair, because that's the biggest question I had, Bill, was we had an interim town manager stipend for $68,651, and then we had the interim town manager in at $17,897. It shows at the bottom one, the one, the 519030, it shows a negative 122,607, and overall it shows a $52,530 deficit. So how do we end up back at 9,500?
So
If
I
you
think
could
in that
explain
packet is a spreadsheet. I would go by the spreadsheet rather than the budget report, because the budget report probably has some bad encumbrance numbers.
This is the budget report that you just sent out,
Yeah,
okay, and that was through May 31st.
yeah.
The budget that we got, the year to date, which just says it was generated 6/22, but it doesn't tell you when it ran through.
Right.
That came with the thing has different numbers, so it gets very mystifying. Joe.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned before that the encumbrance program is a good program. payroll encumbrances, but it requires a lot of maintenance. So if, like for example, we've had encumbrances sitting there for people that have left years ago. So,
Excuse me,
They
point
need-
of order, if I could interrupt for a moment. Does it make sense to invite Bill up to our table since,
I think it makes great sense.
yeah,
I just figured he
That way-
didn't,
that
I
way
figured
we-
he didn't want to sit with
yeah,
us.
yeah.
He didn't want to be
Yeah,
associated with
please.
us.
You can pick any
No,
chair
I
you
figured
want,
he
but.
just wanted to be heard. It's, you know,
Make sure we speak nice and
Swings
loud
and
for everyone at
arrows.
home.
yeah.
Exactly.
So consequently, since the payroll encumbrance requires a lot of maintenance, we actually do spreadsheets for each department to project out what is going to be spent through the end of the year. So if you look at the spreadsheet, that's more accurate than,
Yeah.
than the budget report, so. I don't know what else I can say about that. We're trying to perfect the budget report and the encumbrance, payroll encumbrance, but we still have to do the spreadsheets, because they're not exact. The encumbrances are not exact. So,
And then you had to change over from the senior clerk to the program admin one or something.
yeah, that was, that was the increase in
At a higher
the
rate.
salary, yeah. So,
So that those two deficits give you the 9,500?
yeah.
Just
yeah.
those two positions?
Well, we look at the totality of everything. What's been spent plus what's projected to be spent. So, I think we had one payroll left to be projected, which was, period ending June 24th, pay date of June 29th. So when we project that out, it gave us a $9,500 deficit.
But it's
Oh, and then there's
for those two positions?
those are the big ones. If you look at the spreadsheet,
I'm looking at it.
yeah. So we have the interim town manager line. That's over by 17,000, and then we have the program
Okay.
admin.
Yeah.
That's over by 22,000. Senior clerk is under by 18,000, and the town manager is. And there's some stuff at the bottom too, I think. Let's see. Yeah, and then the interim town manager at there's a surplus in the department head salary line at the top, and then there's a deficit of 72,000
Yeah.
in the interim town manager stipend at the bottom. So the net of all that brings us to $9,500 shortfall for the salaries.
Any other questions on this from the committee?
So can we assume that when you do your closeout for the end of June, your final report, that this will all show up?
It will all show up, yeah, you won't see any, after the final payroll, you won't see any payroll encumbrances anymore. Those will
Okay.
all be gone.
And, but,
And that'll give you the accurate,
and we'll know
Yeah, expended,
one way or the other? Okay.
yes, yep.
All right. I'm okay with that.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? Adam? Yeah.
So should your payroll encumbrance be zero at the end of the fiscal year?
Yeah, it will be
Is
zero,
that
yes.
typical?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, gotcha.
It's just that somebody changed positions. We don't always encumber the new, the person in the new position. Or if somebody, leaves, we don't always zero out that encumbrance. So that's why it says it's a good thing to have, because you're supposed to encumber salaries for the full fiscal year, but it takes a lot of maintenance by the HR departments.
Because the person that was there is in a different department now, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, yep. So,
So they'll be in excess.
yeah, there was one encumbrance, there was an encumbrance for somebody in one department that had left here 3 years ago, so.
And the encumbrance is still in here, or was still in?
It was at that time, this was a couple of years ago I found that. We occasionally find these things and we have to send an email to HR, say, please zero out this person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here she is.
All right, any other questions or comments from the committee? Joel?
No, I'm all set.
Eric, you have anything on this? Chet?
No, I'm fine.
We jumped
Elliot, you have anything?
I have four.
because we needed a quorum three because it was used earlier,
Oh, okay.
so we jumped.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm glad I called you.
Well, thank you very much,
There you
Diane.
go.
Thank you.
Well, thank my son, it's his birthday today.
Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to him.
Well, gotta give him a gift.
Can we
I
wish
did.
him happy birthday?
Can you wish him a happy birthday?
What's his name?
What's,
What's his name?
Brian,
Is he like
Happy
Bob?
birthday, Brian.
happy
Is
birthday.
he like Bob Hope, where he gets a birthday every 3 months?
What about me? I was on the first.
No, but he, what's it
Happy
called?
birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Bill.
His birthday is the day after the 4th of July, so he thinks he gets a birthday, you know, on the 4th and the 5th, and keeps going.
Okay, so
Okay,
Diane,
so I'm sorry, we're
Diane,
on
do you
number
have any
4?
questions on item 4?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
this-
skipped number 3,
yeah,
we're gonna go
here.
back to that. Item 4.
It's the assistant town
Okay.
manager
The
stipend.
town
The
manager's
assistant
salary.
town manager stipend.
For,
There's a shortfall, 9,500.
what's the stipend for, what is
Well,
this adding to
because
the-
he was the assistant coming in.
Oh, it's
I mean,
for,
March-
it's
in
for Mark
March.
Tisdale?
March 31st. yes,
Oh,
March.
okay.
Mr. Rowe, the 2 reasons were,
And he
there was
also
a
had a
recruit a
senior
secretary who was
Yep.
over the budgeted amount, and the second reason was additional duties for the assistant town manager went longer than expected, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, they continued them through the year.
They
Yeah.
continued through the year,
Yeah.
so essentially that was it.
Additional 3 months, yeah.
So do you have any questions on this, Diane?
Okay, so, is this the one I'm looking at?
Yes, yes.
To cover salaries budget, so we talked about what salaries that was covering?
Yep.
Yeah, you wanna tell me, or you wanna?
Just want to be a
Mr.
support.
I
Rowe
know.
had said that essentially the short version of it was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Rowe, is that they had to recruit a secretary, and the recruitment brought in someone at a higher than the budgeted amount,
Okay,
and the additional duties for the assistant town manager continued on past the original expected date, and instead to the end of the fiscal year.
okay.
That-
So there
That's
was
what
no
caused it.
more money for any additional secretarial work?
Is that correct, Mr. Rowe?
There was, yeah, there was no more, there wasn't enough money budgeted to cover those 2 things.
Those 2 things?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
all right.
secretary that was there moved to another department.
Right,
The
there,
person they
yeah.
brought in is brought in at a higher rate.
At a higher rate.
Yeah.
I can understand that, cause you can't find anybody to.
Well, I mean, it was a
yeah.
current worker, but they
Yeah.
were brought in at a higher
At a higher
title and rate.
Oh,
Yeah, senior clerk.
Okay.
okay,
There's a-
all right.
Okay, any other questions or comments on?
I
item
think
4?
that's
Nope.
it.
Okay.
Do we need to make a motion here, or,
Sure do.
John?
I thought you would.
You raised your hand, Joe. I think it's
Joel,
like,
do you
you
have
know,
something?
You,
sorry,
you
Joe.
brought it up,
I
Joe.
was scratching.
Yeah. Nice try.
John does it so much better.
Well, I could do it.
All right.
I'll make the motion that the request for interdepartmental transfer for the town manager's salaries in the amount of $9,500 from civilian dispatch salaries to the town manager's salaries be accepted.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Okay.
So
All
that's
right,
7 to
so
1.
701.
He told him.
Oh, is it 8 to? Oh, because we have one more. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have 8 now. It's 8 to 1.
Okay, we're gonna move back to item 3. Request for interdepartmental transfer for town council in the amount of $72,756 from police salaries to town council expenses. Mr. Laurie, did you have something?
Yes, thank you, Vaughn. I'm going to be recusing myself on this item. I'm on the board for the Stoughton Media Access Corporation, which is a small piece of the material being covered, so just to be safe, I'm going to recuse.
Thank you very much for that. Mr. Rowe, would you like to present this?
So basically what's happened is we had more legal expenses, we had a lot of labor costs doing negotiations. There were some other grievances and so forth and so on. And we just ran short at the end of the year. We are handling this differently for fiscal '24. I've asked the person that enters these requisitions to put in a encumbrance for the full amount of the contract, and she has done so for Mead Talaman. which is 14,000 a month, so we have a purchase order now for 168,000.
For
And-
FY '24.
For
For
FY
FY
'24, so
Good.
that base amount will be covered. We have a PO for Jack Dolan for 24,000, 2,000 a month. So those contractual monthly retainer amounts, so to speak, are now covered within the budget. I'm also going to ask her to enter a requisition for an estimated amount for extra services for me, Talman, and for Jack Dolan and for KP Law. So we should not run into that problem again this year. We're going to instruct the attorneys that if they approach those amounts of their POs, that they got to contact us and get a change order before incurring any additional work. So we'll see how that goes. So, but, previous speaker brought up the point that we have contractual payments for fiscal '23 on here. Why haven't they been encumbered? And that's a
Right.
very, very valid point. You know,
Right.
that's obvious. So we're trying to correct. We've corrected that, we believe. For
But again,
2024.
are the attorneys going to send them when, I don't know when we got them, but,
Yeah, they bill monthly.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
for the most part.
Because that's what was so surprising, that they all went
Yeah.
back and we had so many.
Right,
Well,
right.
The bills were here.
The bills were here.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We try to get them to consolidate it and bill monthly. I know there's a lot of small bills for KP, and, you know, we constantly see them on the town meeting on the unpaid bills roster as well, so we're trying to correct that, give them purchase orders and say, hey, when you hit this limit, you gotta contact us to get a change order. So if we run over, we'll find out about it a lot sooner than the last minute, so.
Okay.
Do you
That's
think
about all
we'll
I have
run
to say.
over at all, or,
We don't.
I mean, we're doing contracts this
Tom
year.
and Mark
we're
don't
thinking,
think so, yeah,
Yeah.
the contracts are pretty much settled,
Yeah.
so unless we have a big, I don't know.
There was only one
case.
left, right?
I think so, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, there's only one
they
left.
have a
That's-
$5,000
Everything
estimate
else is
for
set. That's
June
right.
for labor. We're past June. We should know if that was ever spent.
Yeah, I think there's only one that's not settled, yeah, I think that's
They had
correct.
5 in the wings.
Yeah.
We did 2,
Yep,
left 1.
Which one's not settled, Bill?
the library.
The library?
And if I might, Mr. Chairman, when this originally came in, or I should say, when we got this package 2 weeks ago, there was an estimate for labor from me, Talbot. The estimate was for $5,000. Do we have any idea if that has been approached?
I don't, John, no, I don't know what the final is.
All right.
Yeah, I don't
I
have.
just wanted, since we're into July, I didn't know. if-
Yeah, I don't have any
Any
additional
info?
estimates on the June estimates.
Okay. And has that contract with me, Talbot, is that a continuous? Was it a long-term, or do you have any idea?
It's, yeah, I mean, I think it's indefinite unless the select
Well,
board
they
decides to
can't go
cancel.
in more than 3 years, can they? But with council, they can just hire them and let it run. I was just curious, because I know they did a contract which originally they had done one, and certain things were excluded,
Yeah,
and then they modified it once I think they found out that some of the exclusions weren't gonna be
See if I
covered by
can,
other attorneys anymore.
let me see if I have
And I
some.
know they did do a new one. I mean, I don't know, and I was just curious if that was something that was signed indefinitely, you know, because that seems to be kind of,
So it was signed May of '22. Let's see.
oh, yeah, I mean, I was just curious. I didn't know if maybe, if that was set to just continue on and on and on.
I'm going to see if there's an expiration date on here.
I know they sent me a new one. They sent me the revised one. They had the original, and then they sent me the revised one. I'm just trying to find it.
Yeah, I don't see,
All right.
I don't see an expiration date on it, so
Okay,
they're not subject to 30B, so.
yeah. All right, I was just curious.
Okay.
Thank you.
Joel, do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. The request for this interdepartmental transfer is $72,756 from police salaries. That's like a FTE, isn't it?
Yeah, they had some unfilled positions, so.
Pardon me?
They had
are
some
down.
unfilled positions.
Yeah, they are down.
It was an unfilled position?
I think
Yeah,
they said when they came for us for the budget for '24,
That's what I was trying to
I
remember.
think the chief said they were missing, they were shot by 10 people.
Was it 10?
Yeah, I think they were very shot.
Yikes.
It was
Yeah.
high, it was high.
We budgeted for the 10 though, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the next fiscal year, yes.
Okay, fine. All right, I'm okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the committee on this?
Thank you, Joel.
In that
Thank you.
case, can I make a motion that the request for interdepartmental
Well,
transfer?
I had one more question.
Oh, never mind.
When, well,
John, you have a question?
when it first came out, you said a certain amount was encumbered. So if they had a budget to start the year, and we're obviously over by some high amount right now, right?
It'll be 72,000.
Well, no,
Yeah.
they're asking for that, but, and that's one of the questions is, they originally had a $296,000 budget, which they're saying is now up to 345 is the revised budget. And frankly, Bill, I mean, I get the one that came with the transfer, I got the one that just came out. They don't always match up quite right, but, I mean, they said there was a transfer or adjustments of $49,000 in this budget. So, can you explain that to me? Because I'm just trying to reconcile everything and,
What are you looking at, the budget report?
well, yeah, the one that you did here, you know, the one that came
Yeah.
out, as of May 30th.
So-
You know, it showed the approved appropriation at 296.
Yeah, yeah,
Then they have transfers and adjustments of 49,1961.
right.
So the revised budget was 345,1961. You expended 266 plus.
Yeah.
We encumbered 58,850, and so the available budget was 27,848. So I'm just wondering, what's actually encumbered, and, you know, what was the money spent on it with that shot?
Sure.
That we couldn't even pay the monthlies, so just some explanation of how we spent the budget without actually spending it on what it was budgeted for.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to get your copies and make up a pack with all the legal bills.
Well, we might be asking for that after
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
Great idea.
I like
So,
that, Bill.
yeah,
Could
so
you
the only-
take that-
the only
Could you
transfer-
take that as an action item to
Yeah.
send us
So
all
the-
the legal bills for the fiscal year?
Thank
Sure.
you, Mr. Rowe.
We'll
Thank
do it.
you.
You'll see
Thank
it
you
about
for-
December. No, we can.
Thank you for offering.
Something I'm gonna read right away.
Yeah. So, no, the only transfer, by the way, the only transfers on here would have been carryover encumbrances from '22.
Okay,
There's been nothing transferred by town meeting or anything
All
else.
So, Mr. Rowe, you've implemented a system whereby, or you're attempting to do that, where this isn't gonna happen again, hopefully.
I can't guarantee anything, as you know, Vaughn. We talked about that.
Thought
I
I'd
can't guarantee anything.
you have made an attempt to put a system in
Exactly.
place that would prevent this.
Exactly.
As
yes.
the
The system being,
finance director for the town.
encumber the two contract, well, not yet, but encumber the
July
two
1st,
contracts.
wasn't it?
Not yet. So, it's in the
Maybe
works,
after
let's
tonight.
put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe
Oh,
not
I
after
know.
tonight.
You gotta get a transfer.
Maybe
You gotta
after
get some transfer to go through.
Yeah, there you go.
So the two ways of correcting it are encumbering the full amount of the fixed fee contracts,
Yep.
the retainers, the two of them, and then a second purchase order for an estimated amounts
Mhm.
for the three firms that we deal
Well,
with.
it makes sense.
Okay.
Makes sense. So is KP, because they have continuing things going
I
on?
think they're still going on, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yep.
And Dolan is for labor, right?
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
And then you have Mead Talaman is the monthly,
yep.
and they also have labor charges.
And both,
don't they?
both Dillon and
Yeah, they were.
and Mead Talman have exclusions from their basic contracts.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, Talaman is also doing labor as well, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Any other questions, comments from the committee on this? Item 3? No? Chet, you have anything?
Thank you.
Adam? Anybody want wanna make a motion on any of this, or do you wanna move to item 5?
I'll move that, I'll make a motion that the request for interdepartmental transfer for town council in the amount of $72,756 from police salaries to town council expenses be accepted.
Second.
Thank you.
It's the least I can
We have a motion and a second on the
It is the
floor.
least you could do.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay,
That would be
So
eight to nothing.
that's still 8 and 1 abstain, right?
8 to nothing with 1 recusing.
okay. Item 5, request for interdepartmental transfer for facilities expenses in the amount of $48,501 from civilian dispatch salaries to facilities expenses. Mr. Rowe, would you like to
So
present
the
this?
town manager would like to order 2 things. A town hall bulletin board. It has already been ordered, subject to the vote tonight. The vendor
You said
contractor.
it has been ordered?
It has been ordered,
Okay.
subject to.
What's it look like? We don't have any pictures.
The vendor-
Yeah,
it's a picture.
it's in the,
The vendor understands
Oh,
that
God.
it's subject to
Sub-
appropriation tonight and can be canceled by tomorrow.
Is it like electronic board?
Yes, there's a picture, I think there's a picture.
Is this
of
similar
that.
to
there
the
is.
one at the high school?
No.
There's a picture.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was
this
there?
is the electronic.
Oh, you talked?
Yeah.
No, wait, I saw it.
Okay, so Bill, I'll ask you, because this
Yeah.
looks like it's going to use the same thing that the town, the,
the sign
So,
that you
the
see
sign
in
that you
the
see?
center
now they're gonna put it at the
with
bottom?
with the electronic one in there too.
At the bottom of it? How are you gonna see it? There's bushes there.
No, I think it's going in front of town
Stay out of
hall.
the bushes.
I think it's going in
Oh,
front of town hall.
It's gonna be out here.
Yeah.
It would eliminate the need to put up that,
Okay,
You
so
know,
it's
both
not
days
going, see,
sign.
I'm just
No.
looking at the top where
Right.
you have one on the corner that looks like.
Now,
this.
we approved a feasibility study to
Yeah.
change all the parking
Right.
and landscaping, all of
I
that.
did talk to Mark about this, and he said that the sign was coming, so.
This sign will fit somewhere in the front without impact on the project that they're doing the feasibility.
Yeah, so if for some reason this was not approved tonight, we'd call both vendors and
But
cancel.
you use his fiscal 23 funds.
That's it, yeah. So we wanted to get the order in by June 30th. And town council said that's fine, you can order it subject to appropriations. And the vendors were good with
And
that.
that's the
Chet,
reason
do you have a
why,
question?
yeah, that's the reason why we're paying all this money for council, because everything that the town does, town manager, that we pay $200,000 a year, and all the, everybody else, they're all going to town council to get approval,
there it is.
right? Come on, John, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
You know, it's crazy.
I do have,
Like,
I'll
I mean,
let
why
others
can't-
go, I'll let others go first, but I do have some comments.
No, but I'm saying, like, we just have article for the landscaping for the town, in front of the town hall.
And they didn't include this.
That was not included. So how are they gonna put that sign, where are they gonna put it? And, you know what?
I can't tell.
They
There's a-
they can't even keep the sign up by Target. You know, the planning board had a big thing about that, about the sign in front of Cumberland Farms.
Yeah.
Whole thing, it's all overgrown with grass and bushes, the whole thing. And I talked to the planning board, the whole thing, Joe Scardino, which he's not around there anymore. But my point is, they made a big issue about, you know, landscaping, PVC fences around dumpsters, the whole thing.
Then it goes to,
It goes nowhere.
Yeah, you know,
what I mean?
you-
And nobody takes care of it. There's nobody in town that, excuse me, Dave.
take your time, take your
Just
time,
let me
take your time.
make one
Yeah,
more point.
Yeah.
Nobody in town, I know we're supposed to have a code enforcement.
no one oversees it.
Exactly, John, exactly. And I know we're supposed to have a code enforcement officer coming on board shortly.
To ride the trash trucks.
Yeah, don't get me started about that. I don't even wanna
Don't.
talk about
All right, I just want to let you guys know that I drive 3 times a week around town, all over Stoughton, delivering Meals on Wheels.
Yep.
And you cannot believe the amount of trash that's on the roads, okay? And they're talking about pay per bag. There's no way. There's no way they're
Well,
gonna be able
okay.
to.
We'll get back to that
Let's
later.
not-
Did you finish your last point on the sign?
No,
Did
my
you-
point is
okay.
that, you know, we're supposed to have a code enforcement officer that's coming on board, right?
take care of all these things around town. So hopefully that comes, comes aboard and, we can clean up this town. That's all.
Dave, you have a question?
Yeah,
Comment?
through you, Vaughn, I think even if you gave the town the benefit of the doubt that unlike the private sector that needs to have a compliance officer checking things to make sure they fall in line, that the town hall would be treated, by the DPW to take care of our own properties in town. We give them the benefit of the doubt. There is a precedent, even though it's not in the same location. The precedent was in front of the Historical Society when the SRA was, at least the head of the SRA at the time, was looking to put the same kind of signage, electronic signage there, and it went down. It did not pass. And there were a lot of different objections. It was a little too glitzy. There were a lot of, there were some aesthetic things about it that the town didn't want. Who was going to manage the content? That was another one. So there were a lot of different areas of, that contested the whole article, and it didn't pass. So I don't know whether or not this has more merit than that, but the process is certainly different because we're using the town manager's approval to do it instead of a town meeting vote. So that's a sharp difference right there. So I just want to lay that out. I'm not saying up or down one way or the other just yet, but that's some facts that I think that the finance committee should know, while we're looking at it.
I think you're correct, Dave.
You stole my thunder somewhat, but I'm still gonna speak on
Okay,
that.
go ahead.
You wanna speak now, or you want to,
If you got somebody else to go
Elliot's
first.
lined up, yeah?
Yeah,
Elliot,
A few years ago,
Myself too.
the
Yeah.
town meeting had voted, and I forgot what the vote was, but they were gonna put an information sign right at the end of the street here, right downtown.
On what?
Whatever happened to that?
I thought it
On
was the
Porter
old
Street,
Stoughton.
you mean? It was gonna be on Porter or?
I thought it was gonna be at the old Stoughton Co-op building. Wasn't it? I remember that.
yeah, a few years ago,
Yeah,
an article was brought to town meeting
right,
to put up one of these electronic signs.
right,
And the SRA was gonna pay for half of it.
right,
Town meeting turned it down.
correct. That's what I
Here's
remember.
my concern about this. I think the sign is a great idea. I really do.
What?
The lights for the pole or whatever, fine. Here's my problem with this. This is how I look at this. This should have been an article before town meeting and let town meeting vote on it. What I see this as, my own opinion, there's extra money that's laying out there in this budget, and they want to spend it on projects that should have gone through town meeting. And you know what? If you have extra money in the budget, it should come back, let the townspeople decide how they want to spend it.
I don't think
So,
there's any such
for-
thing as excess money.
For that, you don't. Where do you think they just got the money for the two that we just did? They're coming out of budgets that are overfunded for various reasons.
What?
And, well, when you're missing 10 people, you're gonna have a lot of money left over. The dispatch is the same thing. There were people not there, the civilian person wasn't there. You're talking quite a bit of money that is in the budget, and it's gonna be the same thing next year, by the way, or this year, this fiscal year. But I can't support this as much as I like it, and I think it's a good idea. I don't think this is the way to do it, because I think they're circumventing something that a process that had gone through before, where they only had to pay for half of it,
Well,
got turned down at town meeting.
Right, but through you, Vaughn, is there, did you want to?
Well, I
Go
just
ahead.
want, and
Yes,
I'm gonna
Diane.
object for a different reason. I don't think it's high enough. I don't think people are gonna be able to see this, it's too close to the ground. I'm trying to look, it looks like this is gonna be on Pearl Street, is that right, Bill? Is this Pearl Street out here that I'm looking at with the,
This is
I would
what,
assume, yeah.
yeah, but I can't tell where it's going, it's on
I
a
would assume
sidewalk.
it'd be right be.
I don't know whether this is Porter Street or Pearl Street.
I would assume it's gonna be right at the corner of Pearl.
it's gonna be the corner, that's, I agree with you. Right at the corner of
I had
Pearl
I
and,
would think it's gonna
Right
be
where the
right
sign
over
is
there.
now, I
Yeah,
already
yeah,
asked that,
yeah,
right where the sign is now.
yeah, they're gonna replace it with a new sign.
I don't think it's tall enough. I don't
Dave,
think
yeah?
people will be able to see it.
Isn't the real question at the end of the day, what's the urgency for getting it done now?
Right.
Because everything else is irrelevant, because whether we like it or not, they're asking us to do something that's taking money from free cash because it eventually would have been a turn back. What is making this so urgent that it can't wait for the special town meeting, which is inevitable every single year?
I think you just answered your own question.
Well, why can't it wait till the special? Is
That's
the
what I
que-
mean. No, I think you answered your own
Mr.
question.
Rowe, you had your hand up on this, did you wanna add something on this?
Well, no, to John's point,
Bill, do you want me
Keep-
to pull down that shade so it's not?
No, I
right
can
in
just
your-
leave it.
You sure?
to John's point, the departments have a right under the bylaw, are permitted under the bylaw to spend up to $50,000 on capital items. And the school department is authorized to spend up to $100,000 on capital items, so.
Yep.
But this is money that's not left in this department's budget.
It's not left in this particular department's budget, no. It would have to be transferred from some other budget into facilities and then spent from that, so.
Oh, but on the urgency, we
Joel,
never
yeah.
got the urgency question.
I don't
The
have an
answer.
answer for that.
The money's available.
Joel, you have something on this?
The proposal here from Sign Design is for $34,807. The amount of the transfer is for $48,501.
You gotta look at
Is there
the
something
rest of
else?
Yeah, it's the lights.
the other lights, the decorative lights.
Holiday lights, holiday lighting.
So we got two purchases going.
Oh, there's more than one purchase going on here, okay.
Yeah,
Ah.
Mr. Rowe was gonna get to the second one. Maybe. Or,
So do you have, sorry, do you have to vote on it all at once?
SRA.
Or you
It's
take
one,
those?
one
very
transfer.
much like
we're
that.
looking for. I mean, I
If
suppose
this
we
is
could
going
modify-
on for,
Well, you could modify, you don't have to vote that one up or down.
let me shut it off.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, it's from the United States. You think I ought to answer it?
I'm assuming that this sign thing also includes the granite post, but it's not that clear to me, but okay.
Includes installation.
It
Eric,
was
you have something?
installation on granite posts, but I was trying to figure out
Oh.
if the sign company provided the granite post.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they
it just says mounted to.
I just wanted to clear up.
Eric, you have something?
So, because I had to miss two more of town meeting than I would have liked, but we did approve the 75,000 for the landscaping for town hall.
Right.
That's the feasibility, that's
So-
feasibility to do.
Okay, so I just want to be clear that we're essentially committing to buying an element of a potential redesign of the landscaping before the feasibility of that
So I think
landscaping
it's
is ever.
It's done, before it's
Yeah,
done,
Yes, that's a good way of
And-
looking at it.
before
yes.
it's, yeah.
It's usually not a great way to go,
Not-
in my humble opinion. So, yeah, okay, great, good, glad to be clear on that.
And
It
he,
should
Dave, you have
have,
something
it
else?
should have been important enough that if it was urgent, that they would have been here to answer the question, why is it so urgent? Somebody should have been here to say,
Let me see that thing.
please help us out, because this is really
Let's
important.
see if I can get.
That's my opinion now, that's not the question, that's,
Bill, do you know when we
Yeah.
got this? I can't find a date on here anywhere. Is there a date on here somewhere? That they sent us this
When they get the
proposal?
proposal,
The sign proposal?
Yeah. Can you
There's a
find
bunch
a
of
date
emails
on it?
Back and forth.
Yeah, Order date 5/18.
Oh,
Proposal
way
date
at the top, okay.
6/21.
let me see if I can get him to pop in for
We have any other questions or comments on this?
oh, hang on, we're gonna,
Yes, Dave?
yeah, we're gonna
gonna
see
call
whether or
him.
not we can get
Can
a
I,
virtual,
can I bring up
virtual-
a couple of other
Yes,
points?
Diane.
Has everybody read the other conditions on the second page?
I have,
Where it might be additional for this and additional for
yeah.
about
there's-
12
there's
other things?
a bunch of electrical that has
Yeah,
to go in
electrical
there.
feed,
Yeah.
due to current, subject to change once job, assumes adequate access in normal job site, additional excavation charges, winter conditions may, police detail, I mean, there's a ton of stuff left here.
Yep.
That's why I closed them.
now, does the town have to pay for detail for its own projects?
No,
No,
Well, sort of.
it depends whether it's in the contract or not, sometimes,
Okay,
We need the detail when you're in the street.
something like that.
all right, even the permit fees are additional,
right.
If there are permit fees, and those are usually waived.
right,
Waive them for themselves.
Typically, in these signs like this that I put in, you're running an electrical feed somewhere to
Right.
someplace inside the building. I'm gonna assume that if this is one of the newer signs where you control it using Wi-Fi or
Yeah, like the high
something
school one.
like the high school
Yeah.
one, although on all the times I've ridden by the high school,
Oh, it's off.
I've
Yeah,
never,
I-
I've never seen anything other than welcome to
Stoughton
Stoughton High School.
Don't get me started. But
Anything else?
again, I don't
Bring
think
it
it's,
in there.
if it's where the sign is now,
Looking to bring it.
this is the back of the sign, right, right here?
That's
Do you
it.
see all the
Yes.
bushes around that?
Well,
Who's gonna see
I
it?
doubt they're gonna put bushes in front of the sign if
No,
they
no,
want you
but
to
there's
read it.
bushes there now.
Well,
You're not gonna, I'm not
I
happy.
think the real question is, do we wanna transfer the money to get it done now, or should this be an article in town meeting? I think it should be an article in town meeting.
I myself,
I agree.
I
I
like
have
the
to
idea.
agree.
I like the idea of the project. I like the sign.
Right.
Okay.
I don't like the process. I would rather this be
Don't
an
close that.
article.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gotta be
Close
open.
it, Tom.
We
Keep
can't,
it open.
it has to stay open a
I'll
little
get
bit, yeah.
You don't want the state police coming in here.
Oh, yeah. Oh
OML.
my God, if they arrest me, I'll be very happy.
Myself,
Go
I
to
like
some
the
place where
project.
it's
I like the
quiet.
idea. I just don't like this process.
No,
I don't either. And I don't think that it is
my
covered.
hand heals.
Okay. Any other questions, comments on this?
Well, we should fill them in where we are.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Colton. Hello there.
Hello?
Hi.
Any other questions, comments?
So we're
Well, we
talking
have,
about the
we have
sign.
question, we have an open question on the table.
Okay.
Yeah, through you to the town manager, I think everybody kind of likes the concept of what it is that's in front of us. The process was one issue, the other is the urgency question, so that if we're gonna bypass the town meeting process to do this, what would create the urgency for doing it, especially in light of the feasibility to do all of the landscaping and parking construction and all that work? So in light of all that.
Are we referring to both
The sign.
sides or the one up front here?
The sign here.
The sign.
Yeah, if you wanna put it off, I have no objection. Maybe bring it through the capital.
I mean, you may not be aware of it. There was a proposal a few years
A
ago
few
to
years
put a
ago.
sign in
Yeah,
with the SRA paying for half of it.
yeah.
Town meeting turned it down.
It really
So-
came from a recommendation of one of your board members.
Yeah, I think it was me.
Yes, one of the recent hearings.
Guilty.
And it's
I am
consistent
guilty, yeah.
with what we're trying to do in terms of better communication, better.
Well, I mean, we like it.
Yeah, and
We do like it.
We
but-
like it.
I do
But I-
like it.
but I do understand
I
your
think it's
point.
too short. I don't think it's tall enough.
okay.
There's a question about the granite that's gonna be mounted to.
I think
There's some-
that's
there's some
listed that
technical
that
questions.
comes with it, the
Yeah.
two posts come with it.
Well, it also requires a concrete foundation for the granite, and I didn't see that in here either.
Yeah, I know.
But you have to put the foundation in this, make it solid.
How about that?
So if we didn't, through you, Vaughn, so if we didn't approve it tonight, could we make an article for this, for the special town meeting?
Sure.
Or an annual town meeting?
Yeah.
Or an annual town meeting?
Yes.
No, it hasn't been there since 1788.
I agree.
No big deal.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
I
Committee wants to
truly
look at that.
love the idea of
Yeah.
the sign.
So it can come
Love the
from
idea of
us.
the sign.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You
Tom.
Anything else,
want-
Mr. Chair?
Do you wanna separate that and take the holiday separate, if we gotta modify what we're taking, if you wanna do
Why do
the
we need the
holiday?
holiday thing for?
The lights?
Oh, that's part of this?
Yes,
Part of the
It's
48?
the second part,
it's the 13,000.
All right, so we can break it apart.
that's a pole.
Okay, so we can change.
That's a separate pole, isn't it, for the holiday lights?
I think it's just the lights itself. Is it the $13,000? I think it's just.
No, I don't have it on
Is
here.
it?
It's over here.
Yeah.
Just the
Just
lights.
Is it for the lights downtown
Yes.
on the light
Yes,
poles?
it is.
Oh, okay, so
This
it's
would
not
still
part
bring up some of
of
the same
It
questions.
has nothing to do
the,
with
it
the.
has nothing to do with the sign, it
Is
has
this for
everything
the
to do
lights
with.
for fiscal year 24?
It's for this coming Christmas.
And this is rental, right? It's a rental, yeah.
Oh, this is a rental?
It's a rental.
May I see that?
Yeah.
I think it's
They're
been
testing.
rented.
Taking the lights?
No, this was presented by Janice Bruce.
You can't
Don't
cause
close
that
that
Oh,
door.
here we
Don't
go.
close-
No.
Don't.
Probably the attorney.
It just says decoration lights, I don't believe it's on there, Tom.
You know what, I should absolutely know the answer to this, but I thought the situation I heard about was that we have been renting it for years, and this
Lights?
is to
Really?
purchase.
Oh.
Now, I can make a phone call and get clarity on
I don't think, did we?
I saw the
Doesn't say anything.
I saw the presentation by Janice Bruce, and there's a reason why it was gonna be rented. They don't know whether or not it's something that we want to invest in. If they like it, if the product is so great, they would commit to capital purchase to do it later. But for the first year, they wanna test it out to see how grand it'll be. It's supposed to be terrific. So before,
I was just gonna say,
oh,
what
was that
happened
the
to the
last
lights
year
we had?
Christmas?
Yeah.
Was that the
For
was
you
that the
all?
test?
What happened
That
to the
was the
lights
test.
we had downtown
No,
last year?
this is for purchase.
This is for purchase.
Yeah.
Oh, so this
I
is
think
the
it's the
first.
same thing, it brings up the
But
urgency
then
thing.
again, we had all these Christmas lights that we want, and it would town DPW, and somehow, mysteriously.
Yeah, those
So
are,
this-
those are rented, I think.
Right, but this, so they must have liked it
Dave?
enough.
They had the excuse.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much for stopping.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Christmas in July, Doc.
Yeah.
Yes, Dave, you have something on this?
No, so I'm saying, so if the test already happened and they must have liked it enough to make
Did
it
you
a
shut the door
purchase,
again?
that must be what
It's
we're
open a
looking
little
at.
bit, okay.
Well,
Chet, you have
That must-
something on this?
Well, I think that we should just keep renting, put it in the
That was a
budget.
lot of money.
Man, that's a lot
No,
of
that's
money
a
to
lot of
rent
money.
lights.
Oh, how much was it last year?
I don't know.
Oh, I have no
The
idea.
the benefit
we
is
gotta
this
make a
year,
motion.
Yes,
Yeah.
Joel, you have something on this?
well,
Bill, do you know how much it was last year to rent the
I'm
lights?
thinking
I'd like to make a
8,500 off
motion
the
and
top of my
open up a
head.
discussion.
Okay.
80, oh, all right.
Joel,
I'm gonna make a motion that the request for the interdepartmental transfer for facilities in the amount of $48,501 from civilian dispatch salaries to facilities expenses for the sign and the lights be accepted. Here a second?
Second.
Wait a minute, go ahead.
Okay, all right,
Eric's a
I'll
second.
second
Second
it,
it, so
yeah.
we can discuss.
motion and
So
a
we can
second.
discuss.
I'd like to comment on this. if I could.
Absolutely, Joel.
I don't think the urgency is there to have this done now. I think this is something that would be more appropriate for a town meeting vote, therefore I will vote against this.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Dave, you have something?
yeah, if we waited till the special to get funding for next Christmas, there's no time to get the purchase and the plan of how it's gonna be installed and everything else.
I guess it would be for 24.
Well, I don't wanna do rental because the advantage to renting is that you don't have to worry about putting them up and bulbs blowing out and then storing them
Right,
and all that. There is an advantage to renting, but it does add up to a lot of money
yeah.
over
Chet,
time,
you have something on this?
so.
Well,
Question, comment?
my comment was that we did it last year for Christmas, and we rented this company, come out, put all the lights up, the whole thing. We had no DPW workers involved, nobody on ladders. I mean, there was years where I used to go down there and put the lights up. Okay, John was there, the whole thing. You put all these little twinkly lights up, on batteries, and nothing was really, like, bright and nothing, spectacular, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, like other towns. But last year, we had this company come in, and I figured it was like $13.
it was great,
Whatever
right?
it was.
Yeah, it
Bill
looked
just
great.
said it was about $8,500.
8,500 sticks in my head.
It's 85, is that the breakout,
That's-
is that the breakout number for just the Christmas lights? Is it 8,500? Is that the breakout?
For the rental.
The rental is 8,500.
But,
The motion's for everything.
but
No,
my point
I
is,
understand the
Right.
motion, but I wanna parse out,
Well, let him finish.
I know, but I don't know how much money we're talking about when Chet's
I
talking.
have no
Uh,
idea.
13
It could be $1,000, whatever.
It's on the
But my point
13,000?
is,
Okay,
The lights in the downtown were
13,690.
spectacular.
13,600.
We didn't have to.
There you go.
My opinion's the same as the other one.
This is the
We
original
just had
product,
a
here's the
town
lights.
meeting in May that ran into June. They could have put this in for supplemental budgets for '23. They had ample opportunity to have funding done by town meeting. They chose not to do that. Now that there's cash floating around, they're grabbing it as fast as they can.
It's amazing, John,
I'm
how they-
against it.
Eric, you have something on this?
It's amazing how much money they have. this
Adam?
town.
You have any questions, comments on this? No? Okay. Diane?
Through you, I don't know to Bill, or I would ask the town manager if he was in here. Canton has these lights up 365 days of the year. They just have somebody come in, their trees are all decorated, the poles are decorated all the time, so.
It must be
I
better
mean,
than us.
if we were gonna purchase something, that to me would be the better way to go. Makes the town look really nice when you go through it, so, I mean, $14,000 is a lot of money to rent lights for what,
Yeah.
a
I
month?
think the question here really isn't whether or not this is a valid expenditure, as the question is as to whether it should be done with a transfer or a town meeting. Right now, what we're voting on is whether to transfer the money.
Okay,
It might be a good idea for both items,
Okay.
okay? But at this point in time, the question is, do we want to approve the transfer of the money now, or do we want to wait till it goes to town meeting and let it be discussed
All right,
then?
so-
That's what the motion is for.
Okay.
Well,
So
thank you
I
very
will
much for
vote-
that, Joel.
the same
I
way
agree.
down, because I don't think we have enough information about
I,
it.
Dave, you have something?
I'm in favor of having lights. If we kill this, are we killing lights?
No, I
Is
don't.
that what we're
Probably
saying?
not, no.
Are we actually gonna be Scrooge and say, no Christmas for Stoughton this year?
Believe
Is
me,
that
when
what we're
it comes
doing?
Eric,
around,
you
it's
have-
Hang on,
fine.
I'm
just gonna say,
serious,
I'm gonna
it's
go up in my attic
absolutely.
Eric.
and find out. Yeah.
On that, because Bill, what line item, what budget line does the rental come out of?
You probably
Is where it
would be an
facilities
equipment, I don't remember.
Be an expense.
I don't
Is
know.
it Parks and Recreation that comes out?
Probably, it might be parks, could be highway.
But it's-
We're talking about transferring
It's all going to
facilities,
facilities.
right?
Could be
Transfer of
facilities.
civilian
It-
dispatch to facilities and it's the whole.
Year,
thing, right?
Oh,
right,
wow,
year
so it
two
must be
puts us
fine.
in at $17,000 in 2 years, if we rent it. And, you know, over time, obviously, it's more and more money.
You know,
Well, that
Dave,
makes sense
the problem
if
with
you
that's
know,
the
Dave,
but we don't know.
sometimes you just have to say no so they learn how to do it properly. Just like raising
Adam?
your kids, sometimes you have to say no.
Adam, you
I
have
think it's
something
more
on this?
that more analysis has to be done.
Yeah.
I don't think we're killing Christmas. I mean, it's just, we have to see if
I'm
it's
just,
truly,
well, nobody answers the
but if it's
question.
truly $8,500, the payback is a year and a half. So,
Right.
you know, it makes a lot more sense to buy these. So,
It makes more sense to buy them.
But
And that's
you
what's
still-
on the, that's
yeah.
part of the article.
But I think,
mean,
is
part of it.
8,500 right, though? So
We don't know that
you
that's
know,
accurate.
Right.
But you still have to understand it, you have to have DPW people put
Then
the lights out.
you need to install.
Store it, and
Right.
whatever.
They've
replace
had
the
problems
lights,
with
the
that.
whole thing.
They have
That's
had
what-
problems with that.
And we had problems with that before.
Lights that
because
break,
that's why we lost all the
storage,
lights
missing
years
parts.
ago.
Repairs.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor.
I made my point.
Do we need any more discussion, or is the committee ready to vote?
Ready?
Okay. Motion and a second on the floor, all in favor?
Can you just restate the motion, please, so that
He
we...
voted to approve.
The motion, the request for interdepartmental transfer for facilities in the amount of $48,501 from civilian dispatch salaries to facilities expenses for a new sign and lights be approved.
Eric seconded that. We have a motion and a second on the floor.
You're
All
not
in
gonna,
fa-
before we do that, will you take a friendly amendment to break it out into 2 parts?
No,
Alright, fine.
Motion and a second on the
Sorry.
floor.
No, so you force,
All
you
in
have poison
favor?
pill.
All
Yes.
oppo-
No, I'll vote yes.
Dave?
Yes?
one yes.
Okay, all opposed?
No,
Okay, we have 8-1.
1 to 8.
1 to 8, yes. That-
would you please give our apologies to Sign Design and tell us we're sorry?
No. Just like, please cancel the order.
You'll have to.
Yeah, I'll say
Yeah.
apologize.
I got-
Funding was not approved.
But the good thing is, when you go out there, you can tell them, don't bother with the dirt transfer, because it didn't go through.
Yeah, that's true.
Tell them they can decorate Robinette Road because they got a yes vote for Robinette Road.
I don't know, I'm going in my attic, I must have 12,000 white
We have
lights up
any
there.
other matters that anyone would like to discuss? I know Dave has been,
You have it.
Oh, yeah, on other matters?
Yeah,
Yeah, so there's been a lot of discussion about trash.
what?
If you haven't, if you've been awake for the past several weeks.
Dave, I actually
There's-
have to recuse myself from
From
discussion of
trash?
trash because I don't participate in the town trash.
Then recuse
program.
yourself, this is discussion, it's a
That doesn't
discussion.
make any difference.
It's, do you gain or lose from the
Right.
discussion, that's really what that's
Go
all.
for it.
So, what I thought, because there were a lot of people who questioned the finances of whatever idea it is. There was, I know Dave Walsh was chiming in through the Google Meets. I know that Patricia Colburn. I know that there was, comments from, what is another name?
Many
It was
people.
Many
Many
different
people.
people.
A lot of
Many
people.
so Dave,
I
so
feel-
I want to clarify that this discussion is relative to this because it's FY24, right?
It's not known because they punted the whole project to some unknown date as to when they might come up with
I just
something.
wanted to clarify, because it's any matters relating to FY '24, FY '25.
It might be FY '24, had they gotten what they wanted, it definitely would have been
All right,
FY
thank you.
'24.
They're still shooting.
So, no, so I was actually gonna make a caveat to what I was gonna say about, because of FY '24, is that, how do you feel about writing a letter to the town manager stating that the finance committee will step up and vet any of the ideas that they wanna bring to us, whether it's the final choice that they come up with? It's not our decision, it's definitely not in our lane to be discussing what is the best idea for the town. But if they came to us and said, we'd like to use the finance committee to vet this, whether it's in a public meeting or a public hearing, but to offer a letter to say, we'll make ourselves available to help you vet whichever idea you choose.
We were never even contacted in any way, shape, or form. I'm just stating it publicly so that
Right.
everyone knows. The finance committee was not contacted in any way, shape, or form in regards to this trash thing. They know we're here, so I guess we
So
should-
I guess you're against the idea of writing a letter?
Right.
I don't know that they want our input, is what I'm getting
They
at.
didn't,
Why,
they
no,
didn't mention.
we're not offering input, we're
Sure.
saying, we'll make ourselves available should you want to. The finance committee is ready and able to help you out.
Through you,
I'm a
Vaughn.
financial
Is it-
Diane,
I agree.
Where it's taxes
Because-
on the town, and that's in our
Diane.
lane.
Because it's money, shouldn't it be in front of the finance committee? It should have always been in front of the
No,
finance committee.
because it's the board's purview for sewer, water, and trash. That's why the trash is with the board of selectmen. So
It's
with
their
that,
decision.
I'll reiterate what Vaughn said. When they were discussing this in their committee and everything, they never contacted the finance committee if they would like to have a member
Right.
participate in that committee. And not for nothing, they closed the public hearing at the last meeting. So
Oh, yeah.
no matter what they come back with any or all elements, they voted to close the public hearing at the last meeting.
They
So
did.
whether they would decide to reopen it, I doubt.
When the finance committee
But-
steps up to say, here's what we'd be willing to do for you, and they go out of their way to say, thank you very much, but we're all set, thank you very much, but we're not interested, that's a marker that they laid down that says, we're not interested in having it vetted through the finance committee.
They've already done
So
that.
shame on, no, you're not listening. They closed that hearing. It's in their purview to pick what trash method they use. You're right, they could have used us, but we can reach out to them and say, by the way, for the next round that you're gonna go through, we're here to help you to make sure that it's publicly vetted so that people know exactly what the finances are, so that it's transparent when they're ready to bring it forward, whatever idea that
I have
is.
one more thought.
Diane,
Through you, and I don't know if Bill can answer this or not, but we vetted the program, what they wanted. So if they come back with something new, doesn't that also have to have,
That's a good point, but they
a
closed the
meeting,
hearing.
a hearing on the new proposal? Because the new
public hearing
proposal,
was closed.
for that particular,
No, for the public hearing
They
for
did not
trash.
close down, they did not close down the need to change the trash system.
Correct, they closed the public hearing
That's all
for
they-
discussion on
that's
the
right.
trash.
Correct.
That's
That's my understanding too.
They requested more, they requested staff come back with other options, but they closed the public hearing. Take it for what it is.
We put,
but they could open it back up again if the townspeople so pressed, I would assume.
Well, I mean, I would strongly suggest people show up regardless,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
But if they
it's
don't
a,
publish
it's
it,
a
we
sign,
won't know.
it's a sign of good faith that we're here. Don't forget that maybe this time around, you'll have a much better time in front of the public when you're trying to roll out the next go around. That it was publicly vetted by the finance committee. Oh, maybe people in town meeting would actually, show up and actually say, thank you very much for showing us the analytics, because there were people saying, what's the breakdown? I don't understand the numbers underneath what got us here. Yeah, there was one right here in our finance committee.
I don't think they have
Past
an
and
interest,
present,
Dave.
past and present finance
My
committee
own
members.
opinion. I just don't think they have an interest in what your
No,
opinion
they
is.
have their own.
Why, no, but why are you assuming they don't?
Because,
Hey, that's only half of my
because I've
question.
watched them for the past 5 years,
Yeah, but
and
that-
10 years, and 15 years, that's why.
No, but you need to lay a marker down that said they
Eric, do you have
rejected,
something on
if
this?
they reject finance committee, that's on them to saying,
Eric,
on June
something
whatever,
else?
on July whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll make a more cynical comment.
Oh.
If it's a real crap program, I'd rather us not have our fingerprints on it.
Oh my God.
Little double
pretty
entendre
cynical.
there.
I like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, a little double.
That was good. That was
Little
good.
double, yeah, I like
I'm
that.
sorry, Dave.
I like that.
I just saw your leg screw crumble.
Yeah,
We're not talking about silver, we're talking about trash.
look, it's our
My-
job
my
to
own
vet
personal
everything in
opinion-
our general
Yes.
fund,
If
and
they could-
everything about this
I
is
agree,
general.
but we
If
have a
they
whole,
come
we have
back-
a whole hearing system in March to do
Right.
that.
But if they come back with something that no one is happy with again, did you see what happened with Facebook? Did you see all
Let the
this
people
stuff?
speak.
And they will,
And
I
they
know
will.
they will.
Okay.
So,
I will,
and,
I'll go so far as
Someone
to
has
say,
to put
you know,
write an article up for town meeting.
well, I wanna go, let's make one thing perfectly clear. There is no deficit this year. We already funded the track.
I know,
Yes.
I know,
There is no deficit.
right,
There might be, you had to use general funds to do it. There's no deficit. It was a balanced budget,
right,
just like the sewer and the water.
Right.
Had they done the hearings when they should have, which was before town meeting,
right.
then you wouldn't have had to put the money in there that was subsidized.
And it would have all gone in the
I
stabilization
just don't
fund.
like sitting on my hands, I'm sorry.
I'm
You
not
know,
sitting
I'm
on
on the
my
finance committee as an active member of watching every dollar that goes through our general fund. And to not have make
So-
no effort at all to step up and do what we're supposed to
I
do.
think a number
So
of
are
I
you on
think
Facebook?
it's shame on us.
I think a
Stop putting
number
it
of
on
us did
Facebook.
during the
Yeah.
public
I think it's a
hearing.
shame. No, that's not the same. That's not
Any
the
other
same.
comments on this? Dave's discussion, Jen? Joel?
No, the only comment I have is, my son and his wife live in Somersworth, New Hampshire. Their trash, they pay by the bag. They love it.
Really?
Oh,
Elliot,
yeah.
So
you
what?
have
That's
anything?
not the point.
I
Dave.
understand what
That's
you're
not
saying,
my
yeah.
point.
Elliot?
Pro or
I
con?
just thought I'd throw that in there.
Any other FY '24 stuff anyone wants to talk about?
Pay as you
Elliot.
throw.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you kidding me?
That's equitable. For people who don't make a lot of trash, they don't pay a lot.
Oh my God, you're gonna have the climate people
I think,
all over
I
you
think
with
it's
buying
somewhat in
bags.
support of what Dave is saying, it might have been in the best interest if the finance committee established a subcommittee to just concentrate on this one particular and ask that we be included. So I can see I see where you're
Right.
coming
I don't
from.
even mean in the process of determining which ideas are good or bad. It's letting them say, these are the three or the two or the one that we want to have vetted. They give it to us and then we vet it. We say, here's the analysis. When you break it all down,
Well,
here's the impact on the
I'm
budget.
not sure I have that kind of expertise.
I was just gonna
What?
say,
No, on
well,
the numbers.
I don't think they want,
Expertise on
they
the
don't want
numbers,
us to
not on
pick it. They wanna pick it themselves.
Not on the
I
method,
believe
not
that
on
that's-
which
yeah.
method. It's crunching the numbers.
Even
People
the
had a
numbers,
problem.
I'm not sure.
That's what the accountant on staff to do.
Okay.
That's
Eric?
what I thought.
I'll just make another cynical comment. I remember hearing several times from the town manager in March that when it came to these things, he would be before finance committee for feedback.
Transparency.
We
and
want
that never
finance
happened.
committee involved with everything.
And that has not happened yet, so I really
But it's coming in
appreciate that you're
September,
coming from a place
September
of good faith.
23rd,
Right.
right, Bill?
And I think it's genuine and you're right.
Yeah,
But,
did anybody?
I think
We haven't got the invite, no.
it was indicated that our feedback would be sought and it clearly was not. So
Exactly.
I don't know that actually us putting us out there is gonna get a different
It holds his
result at
feet
this
to the
stage.
fire and say, here it was
We're halfway
on
through the game. We're
July,
halfway through the game.
July
Yeah.
5th, July 5th, you had
was
the
the
opportunity
finance
and
committee
here,
person, right,
and
in
you,
Kingston?
and you walked from it.
We'll lose their town manager.
Mr. Rowe, did you have something?
I have nothing to add, Mr. Chair.
Perfect, all right. Any other discussion anyone wants to have on FY '23, FY '24?
Just a reminder, we were told there's gonna be a financial summit, I think it was September 23rd, but we
September
haven't.
23rd, yeah, the invite was supposed to go out, but it has not gone out yet. so-
Okay.
What date is September 20, is it a
It's a
Saturday?
Saturday.
Did we hire
Be on
that legacy
NASA,
person
be on
right?
NASA.
Were we invited?
It'll be in the Caribbean somewhere?
I didn't see the invitation, so I guess,
No, the invite hasn't gone out yet. It's
Will it be in Falmouth?
Where is it, Bill,
Yeah.
do you know?
So
We're
do we
hoping
have
we can have
a,
the school committee, the select board, and the finance.
we have a motion anywhere here
Plus
to,
still top
I
schools.
Do we know where it is?
Adjourn.
I would
I'll
imagine.
okay,
second.
motion and a second on the floor to adjourn. All in
Aye.
8:10?
Oh, good, I get
Favor?
Chinese before ice cream.
All opposed? Hearing none?
That's it.
Next time we'll
We're
do it.
adjourned.
Thank you
Thank you very much for
We
We
watching.
know when we're doing on